If you really pay attention, you will realize that men tell on themselves all the time. This is how I found out I was getting cheated on. I was in a long distance relationship with this guy who was my boyfriend at the time, definitely an ex now. And we planned to go on a cruise together, so we flew out separately from our cities. But he wound up missing his flight because he bleached his hair to a crisp, like it was breaking off. Luckily, he made his flight the next day and we were able to board our cruise. The cruise was so much fun. I was so sad when the cruise was over, but of course, all good things come to an end, and we had to get back to reality and fly back home to our respective states. I spent my entire flight looking through all of our pictures we took together, and I was just really sad to be going home without him. As we were descending, I got a shitload of texts from him, and I instantly knew that something was off. He was basically freaking out, saying that some crazy girl was going to DM me and make all these claims, but none of them are true. And at this point, Instagram was that girl, and I was getting hundreds of messages a day. My Wi-Fi kept on cutting in and out while I was searching for this DM, but I finally found it. The girl was basically saying that she had been seeing my ex and that they were just together, and as a matter of fact, he asked her to pick him up from the airport that evening. She said that she turned him down because she found out about me and that he had a girlfriend. But I was really skeptical of her claims because my ex had a tendency to post everything like as he was doing it, so everybody knew his business. Of course, I DM'd her back asking for proof, and she sent me screenshots and a bunch of other things, but of course I was still in denial because I really wanted to believe my man over a stranger. My ex was so embarrassed that he fried his hair. That was the one thing that he did not put on social media. Like, he didn't want anybody to know. So when she mentioned that she was with him the day he missed his flight, helping him with his hair and putting coconut oil in it, I knew that she was telling the truth. This man came in the morning of our cruise reeking like coconut oil, and I even asked him, like, how do you know about coconut oil? And he was like, oh, my barber told me to use it. And I swear to you, I would have never seen that DM if he did not tell me about it. He was trying to get ahead of the game, but instead he played himself in the worst way possible. But there is so much more to the story, so let me know if you want a part 2. Moral of the story is, when men tell on themselves, believe them the first time.
Get ready with me while we talk about how I got cheated on and how I got revenge from it. Okay, so I've talked about this like before. This was a couple years ago, but I don't care to talk about it. Like, entertainment is entertainment, people. Okay, let's get started. So basically, I had this like kind of boyfriend back in the end of 2020. And he kind of lived far away. Like, he didn't live around me or anything, so we didn't really see each other. It was more of like when he came down to see my friends that he knew and my cousin and stuff like that, then I'd hang out with him, and it was a very awkward situation. He like asked me out randomly. I was like, yeah, sure, why not? Like, as we're like all hanging out, didn't even really know the kid. Whatever, we like FaceTimed here and there, we Snapchatted, we texted like while he was back at home when he wasn't visiting around here. I was supposed to mix my primer with the Say Beauty Drop, so we're gonna act like I didn't just do my primer, and we're gonna put a little bit more on and mix it. Okay, we're gonna be very quick about this because I'm not gonna like talk y'all's ear off. So basically, he like goes to like this ice cream shop whatever one day, and mind you, I'm friends with all his friends that I know back here, so like they're all telling me what's going on too. And he unadds me on Snap, okay, randomly unadds me and says he doesn't want to talk to me no more. And I find out because my other friends had him on Snap. They're like, what's going on? I'm like, what are you talking about? He was at an ice cream shop with a girl, on a date with her, like full on a date with a whole different girl, unadded me, everything, and act like I didn't exist no more, and he didn't know who I was. Me and him obviously clearly stopped talking after that and everything, but me and my cousin were like, let's get back at him. We're at her house one day, and we make a fake Instagram account because, mind you, he cheated on me with this girl, so we were gonna see if he would cheat on that girl with a fake girl. So we made this whole like Instagram account, made her like just his type, like the same things he liked. We made her like the same things and everything, and we texted him off of that account, and he fell for it. He literally fell for it. Literally text this girl back, this random girl, and was like, yeah, let's hang out, let's do all these things. I'm like, what the hell? He falls for everything. Mind you, he didn't like have us blocked on Instagram or nothing. So we went on his Instagram, we found the girl that like he cheated on me with. They were obviously together. And mind you, at the time, this was like a week or two later, because the date he went on, he ended up asking her to be his girlfriend. He didn't even technically break up with me, but okay. And I send her that shit, but I send it to her off of like the fake account, so like he doesn't know it's me and my cousin. So he doesn't know it's me and my cousin doing it. We we text her the screenshots, everything, and she like reads it. She's kind of like, oh, thank you, girly, or like I can't exactly remember because it's been so long exactly what she said. But I know that she for sure said something to him because I think he texted the account about it and like, why would you tell my girlfriend, da 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 da. Why would I? Like later on I found out the same thing he did to me, he did to her. So like, yeah, I'm a girl's girl, I'm gonna tell her what you're doing. And she's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna say something to him, like I'm gonna break up with him, whatever. I was gonna use my Say Beauty, but I used my Rhode. I think I'm gonna use this one tomorrow because I love this blush. But so she ends up staying with him, okay? And I'm like, okay, like that's on you. Obviously I can't like make you break up with him. He like told her a bunch of lies as to like why he did it, whatever. She believed him. They stayed together. And then mind you, after all this, like a year or two after, because he's like still followed me on something, I guess, and didn't realize it, he remembered me and tried to get with me. Like 2 years after that. I was like, bye-bye. But yeah, that's my little story time. But I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye, baddies.
Get ready with me when I tell you the story of how I caught my boyfriend cheating on me. It all started when we went on a trip to Tulum. I started feeling really sick, so I took a pregnancy test and realized that I was pregnant. And when I went up to the pool to tell him, he was there with another girl. Side note, I love this stuff. It's snail mucin. I've linked it, and you can also get it in my Amazon storefront. So I caught him with this other girl in the pool. They weren't doing anything, but that's the first sign for me of how things started to get really weird. We decided that we were gonna do our own thing on the trip because I was mad that he was talking to other girls behind my back and he was saying that I'm crazy and overreacting. So I started doing my own thing in Tulum, meeting new people, going to new restaurants and clubs, and when you have any type of influence online, they'll actually give you free dinners, free bottles at clubs, and even free hookah at different lounges. So I decide to go see my family for Thanksgiving in Florida, and I leave my bags in Tulum with him. Now, I guess I did that because I did want the relationship to work. He was the hottest guy I ever dated, but also like the most fun and like most confident and like motivating person. I lost like 40 pounds because he would train me every day. I was still pregnant and he did not want to keep it because he already had 3 kids. That should have been my first red flag right there. So I'm celebrating Thanksgiving with my family. He was answering the phone and then all of a sudden I really like stopped hearing from him. And that is when I just knew that he was with someone else. So I went back, I got my stuff, and he was not there. I then walked outside to get tacos. And because I didn't have a car in Tulum, it's kind of scary to drive. You might get pulled over and cops might take you just because you're American. I see him in a taxi and he literally just passes me by, literally looks at me and just keeps going. So I go to the corner store and get myself the meds to get rid of the baby. Now, while I'm sitting there in the Airbnb bleeding out by myself, I start going through his Instagram followers. Lo and behold, I find a really cute girl who looks just like me, and her story is her in a hotel and her getting flowers and her at dinner. I don't say anything. I actually told him, hey, I'm going to the airport. He's like, I want to go with you. And I was like, okay. I was like, come get your stuff. I'm not going to carry all these bags by myself. And he never came. So I ended up having to take 2 suitcases from Tulum to the Cancun airport. He shows up a hot mess. He still has sand all over him. He looks absolutely crazy. And that's when I see the text come in, Jessica. And that was the girl that I saw with the flowers and the hotel on her Instagram story. Again, I don't say anything. I'm literally having to get on a plane with this person and then have to drive my car from the Tijuana airport back to Los Angeles. So, yeah, I still wasn't going to say anything. At this point, we are not talking. And, like, I know, he knows, we just got to get back to LA. And that's when I waited till he went to the gym because we were living together, but it was my place. Ladies, always have a backup plan or always have your own place. But I waited for him to go to the gym and then put all his stuff in the lobby. And I texted him, hey, all your stuff is in the lobby. And then I blocked his number. He started calling me, texting me on Instagram. And I just did not answer. You're not about to give me diseases and treat me bad and go missing while I'm pregnant. That's not cool. Luckily, I never caught anything, but, you know, I just think about things like that, about safety, about health, and that's what's really important to me. And because of that, I was a virgin till I was 19 years old because I'm so weary of things like that. So I want to say this. You can be the most beautiful, most loyal, smartest, educated, ride or die chick and still get cheated on. And honestly, that has nothing to do with you as a woman. You could be the best woman that there is, but men are just insecure, and that's not your fault. So if this ever happened to you, you know, it's okay. It's happened to all of us. And if someone said it didn't happen to them, they probably just didn't find out. If you made it this far, I love you. This is Nutmeg.
Let me tell you a story about how social media exposed a cheat. This is back in 2022 when I was on the dating apps. I got chatting to this guy who I quite liked. He was attractive, he had a good job, he worked in Leeds. The first few days we were just like messaging on Teams constantly, calling me. He was keen as mustard. And I was pretty keen too because instantly I just felt really attracted to him and I thought, he's bright, he's funny. I'd quite like to meet this guy. So we arranged to meet. He drove over one day and he came to meet me for lunch. We went to my local pub, we had lunch. He didn't stay very long because it was lunch, but all the signs were there. I thought, ooh, this is going really well. So he told me that he was divorced from his ex-wife and he had a child and they lived down in South Wales. Every other weekend he had to like go down and see his son. He even sent me like pictures of his son. And then one weekend, I think he'd said that he would try and come down one Saturday night or something, and I didn't hear from him. And when you've been like spending a good couple of weeks chatting to somebody and they're like constant, this weekend in particular, I don't know whether it was like a long weekend or whatever, but no text, no call, nothing. And on the Monday, he calls me and he's like, I'm so sorry that I didn't call. He said, I went to the rugby and we ended up going to the pub and I thought, that for me was the first big red flag. Now, some people might think, oh, if he was in the pub and he got drunk with his friends or whatever, you're never too drunk to go to the toilet and send a text to somebody that you're interested in. So at this point, obviously, I started to do my due diligence and I started to like Google and try and find out a little bit about him. This is how fate intervenes, right? Get this. So I told my mum and dad, you know, I'd been on a date with this guy and I told my parents where he worked in Leeds. You know, so-and-so and so-and-so that live next door. And I'm like, yeah, they work at that place. They're really into like orchestras and stuff. And I'm thinking, oh, well, that's good, because at least when mum and dad next see them, oh, our daughter's been on a date or two with such and such a person and he works at your place. Bingo. How that is not fate intervening, I do not know. My mum and dad don't see these neighbours very often. They're very quiet. They keep themselves to themselves. So it wasn't an immediate thing. As it happens, he came over to see me again and I was like, oh yeah, you know, mum and dad have lived in the village for 20 odd years and they know so-and-so really well. So, and he was like, oh yeah, I know them. He looked terrified. And at that point, I thought, I smell a little rat. So one Saturday, he'd arranged to come over and he was going to stay. I know. When a phone is switched off and you cannot get through and your texts are bouncing back, you're thinking, this is just not feeling great. I had my reservations, but anyway, 2:00 came and he rang me and he said, oh, I'm on my way. He said, oh, I've been in Bradford all morning. I had to go to the O2 shop because my phone completely died on me and I couldn't get any signal. And I thought, come on, mate, this is utter bullshit. So I'd made a nice dinner and I'd laid the table and we sat and we had this really nice candlelit dinner. And anyway, he said that he had to leave at like 9:30 because he was going to drive down that night, so he wasn't staying the night. By this point, my mum and dad had bumped into their neighbours. Oh, our Joanne's been, you know, she's been on a date with this person and his name's such and such and such. And this woman said, the lying little... And my mum and dad were like, what? Anyway, she never said any more. She just went, he's just not to be trusted. He said, he's a liar. We don't like him. He's a horrible person. So when my mum and dad told me that, I was thinking, my gut instinct was spot on here. This guy is a lying little cheat. Now tell me, what are the chances of you meeting somebody on a dating app, which I think was Hinge? I cut off contact and, you know, he tried to sort of reach out a few times, but I think he got the message and I think he knew that I knew that he was a liar because my mum and dad lived next door to people that he worked with. So basically, fast forward to London Marathon Day. I got rid of him. Obviously, I didn't explain to him the reasons why. I just completely cut him off because I thought, mum and dad's neighbours say that he's a horrible person and he's a liar and he's not to be trusted. Why would I even invest any more time in this person? How many years is it since 2022? 3 years? So I'm on LinkedIn after the London Marathon because one of my very close friends had run it, and I saw this woman post about her partner of 20 years and it was his name and she tagged him, and I thought, so I did a little bit of like Googling her. Oh my God, they had been together. She lives in Bradford. They'd been together for like 20 years or so. And you little shit. He was obviously in a relationship with this woman, hence the strange behaviours. So I messaged him on LinkedIn last week because we were linked on LinkedIn. I went, I wonder if your partner of 20 years would be keen to know that you were on dating apps arranging to meet with strange women on the internet. I said, she looks really lovely. Interesting to see what she's going to say about it, isn't it? I didn't tell her because, do you know what? I'm not that psycho bitch from hell and I'm not interested in him anyway. But how things do a 360, how fate intervenes with people who finally get exposed for lying and cheating. There you go. Oh, and one more thing. He got got sacked from his job in Leeds at the beginning of this year. So I said to him in this message, as well as saying how LinkedIn is such a great tool. Sorry to hear that you were sacked from your job, but doesn't surprise me. Karma. It's a bitch. But there you go. So if you're thinking of cheating, make sure that you've got no presence whatsoever on social media. Just saying.
Here's how I found out my ex was cheating. Again. So Matt used to stream on Twitch, and usually I was his only audience. So one day he's streaming Resident Evil, and there's actually 4 other people watching him stream this time. And I can't see any of these other users, but someone leaves a comment. And this comment's like, "Hey, handsome," with like a smirky face emoji. And I was like, oh. And Matt, I hear him immediately gasp, and he cuts the stream, immediately ends it. No outro, no goodbye, nothing. He just ends the video. I thought, that was a little bit weird. So I confronted him about it at work the next day. I was like, "Why'd you abruptly end your stream?" And he was like, "Oh, my mom called me." Like, dude, I know you're a mama's boy, and I get serious Oedipus vibes between you and your mom, but I'm not buying that. So I remembered that username, and it's a nickname of a female name, so immediately I knew it was a girl, and we're gonna call her Megan. So I remembered this username, right? And I go look her up, and I search her in his Xbox friends, and lo and behold, they are mutual friends on Xbox. And I thought that was really weird because Matt and I would play Xbox, but he always refused to add me as a friend. But he has no problem adding this Megan girl as a friend. Weird. I do a little bit more investigating, and I find that they are unlocking the same achievements on the same day to the same games. Dude, you know what they were fucking playing? They were playing It Takes Two. They were unlocking achievements to It Takes Two. If you don't know, that's a couples game. That's a couples game. It's a co-op couples game. I didn't know it at the time because I never had played it before, but I was like, I did some research about what that game is, and everybody online was saying it's a couples game. You know, along with some other things like Battlefield 5 and whatever, Terraria, whatever shit that else they were playing. I didn't care. But I don't say anything to him right away. I instead just decide to watch and observe for a little while. So I'm watching and I'm observing, time goes on. It is a consistent pattern. Every single time he's off from work, he's playing a video game with this Megan girl. Every time he goes no contact with me because he's off from work, he's playing with Megan. Eventually, I confront him about this. Eventually, I'm like, "So who's this Megan girl? I see you're playing video games with her all the time when you're off, and you don't talk to me, so who's this girl? And she was in your live stream, she's your friend on Xbox, and you're playing video games with her, so, like, what's the deal?" He was like, "You're a fucking stalker. You're stalking me? Like, you're stalking her?" He's like, "No, you're a stalker." So he gets mad at me because I found out what he's doing on his off days, like, in his free time. And so, like, that night or, like, the very next day, I swear he went private on his entire profile. And I check her account, her profile is also private, everything. I can't see the friends list anymore. I can't see the achievements anymore. Like, it's all privated. And also he blocked me. He was like, "Oh, I just met her through a game. I don't even know her in real life. Like, we don't know each other in person. I met her online. She, like, lives in Wisconsin or some shit." We don't live in Wisconsin. So I was like, okay, whatever. But I was obviously upset. I was like, "Why don't you make me a friend then? If you don't know this girl, why is it so hard for you to friend me on Xbox too? Like, why don't you want to do that, but it's okay for her to be your friend on Xbox? Like, what the fuck?" We would argue about that shit all the time. Just me constantly demanding to know why I'm not his friend on Xbox, why this girl that he supposedly doesn't even know gets to be his friend and I don't. And, like, the whole time I know there's something going on between the two of them. I just don't have evidence. I don't have definitive proof yet. I mean, yes, his reaction and the way he's been very shady is very weird, but I don't have solid evidence, so I don't leave, which was stupid of me. I should have left. But I stuck around. I'm still snooping for more evidence. And then I look her up on other social media. I don't know why, but when I looked her up on other social media before, nothing ever came up. But one day, this fateful day, when I decided to look her up again, I find her here on TikTok. She's going by the same username and everything as she does online. So I'm going through her TikTok, okay? Her bio is literally our location, our city, our state. And her TikTok profile is just filled with videos and pictures of her and Matt together. I was like, oh my God, I fucking got you. Like, this is obviously your girlfriend. I start taking screenshots of everything, and then I send her, oh, I don't send her the DM yet, but I go back to mine and Matt's conversations together, and I start screenshotting as much of that as possible, because I know as soon as I alert this girl, she might like tell him, and then he might start deleting evidence. So I start saving as much as I possibly can. And then I DM her. I sent her that hey girly DM, and then I was like, hey, your boyfriend, like, he's cheating on you with me at work. We're co-workers. Like, I know where he lives, blah, blah, blah. And then she wanted evidence, as I thought she would. So we went to, we exchanged numbers, and then over text, I sent her pictures of mine and Matt's conversations. And yeah, this bitch stayed with him. She got the proof and everything, and she still stayed with him. And I warned her. I was like, girl, you can have him. Like, you don't ever have to worry about me. Like, I do not want this man. I literally went no contact with him. I blocked him on everything. I quit my job. I never set foot back inside that place. She was like, will you let me know if he tries reaching out to you again? I was like, girl. 2 months later, he fucking did. He tried reaching out to me on Xbox, the one place I forgot to block him. He sent me a DM. He was like, hey, Cindy, can we talk? I literally read it, deleted it, and blocked him. But I did not tell his girlfriend he tried reaching out to me again, because, like, I wanted nothing to do with it at that point. I wanted to be done and over with this. So, Megan, if you're watching this, yeah, he did try reaching out to me again. And I warned this girl, I warned Megan, I was like, dude, when the dust settles, you know, he's gonna do this to you again. He's gonna cheat on you again. You know, work is his hunting grounds. That's where he can find victims where you will never find out about. And I only found out because I'm a stubborn bitch, and I'm nosy, and I'm a fucking detective. Of course I was gonna find out, but probably no one in the future is gonna do this. So this is probably not gonna happen again, so just be forewarned. You're going to be cheated on again, and it's going to be 100 times harder for you to find out next time. So yeah, she stayed with him, and then several months go by, and I still keep in contact with old friends and coworkers from that place. Matt still works there. I do not, but my old coworkers are updating me. They're like, girl, he's like cheating on that girlfriend of his again. Like, he's got new side pieces at work now. And I was like, what the fuck did I say? Narcissists don't change. He is cheating on Megan again. And he always will. It will be a cycle that will always continue forever. But that's my story of how I found out that I was being played the entire time. If you watch my previous parts, you know that I was with Matt for almost 3 years. And the whole entire time, Megan existed. They actually started dating a whole year before Matt and I even met. So yeah, wild how the entire time I could think that I was the main girl and everything, and the entire time I was just really the side piece.
I have been cheating on my husband with a guy from the gym. Get ready with me for this anonymous story time. So I'm getting ready to go to the gym. Yes. I've been married to my husband for 12 years. And I am happily married. He is a good husband. He's a great father. However, things just happen. I never intended to be a cheater. I never intended to step out of my marriage. But Jay is just something else. I've been having this affair for the last 6 months. Jay is younger than me. He's 28. I am 32. And he has an insane body. His body is amazing. And not to mention the package down there. It's the biggest I've ever had. So of course, naturally, he's got me a little bonkers. He's got me going crazy. Let me tell you how our affair started. One day I was on the treadmill and I was jogging because I wanted to run the marathon. And Jay took the machine next to me. And one of the moments I got tired and I put my hands to the side. So when he seen that I put my hands like that, he caressed my hand with his hand. And I moved and I was like, what is he doing? I was going to the gym to lose weight and start my running goal so I could run a marathon. However, that made me feel weird. It got me curious. Anyways, that was the first thing. I ended up doing my workout and I went home. The next day, I went to the gym again at the same time, got the same treadmill because I like to use the same machines. I don't know why, that's just how I am. And again, Jay comes and takes the treadmill next to me. I didn't make a big deal, I actually ignored him, but I could feel somebody looking at me. So I've always been able to tell when somebody's looking at me from across the room or just anywhere. It's a feeling that I get, and I got the feeling, so I knew that he was staring at me. I knew that he liked what he was looking at, and honestly, I blushed. But nothing happened. I went home. The next day, I decided to do something else. I decided to take a different machine because I wanted to experiment and see if it was just me or was he really into me or following me around. So I decided to take another machine, and guess what? Jay took the machine next to me. So I was like, it's weird. He's following me around. So anyways, I continued with my workout, and Jay came over, he stopped me, and he's like, hey, I was looking at the way you use the machine, and I think you would get better results if you do the machine a little bit slower. So I was like, okay, thank you for that information, I will try it. So he actually ended up staying with me through my whole workout, and we were just talking about workout stuff, about the machines, about eating healthy. The conversation if I was married or if he was in a relationship never came up. And honestly, I really didn't want it to. That's how it was going for a couple of weeks until Jay asked for my phone number, and I gave him my phone number. He was like, if you ever can come, just text me and I'll take the day off too. So I was like, okay. So I gave him my phone number. We started off just texting with each other, but I was being very sneaky because I was hiding it from my husband. Yeah, I did feel guilty at times, but I couldn't stop. Something about Jay just made it feel so worth it. The attention he was giving me, he made me feel young again. He made me feel like I was that hottie that I was in high school. One day Jay asked me if I wanted to go for a coffee, and you guys know I love coffee, so I said yes. We ended up going to a Starbucks around my house, and we were just talking, and I felt like we had a connection. But to be honest, guys, the connection for me was more physical than emotional. Like I said, Jay is fine. That became my little routine: workout and then go for coffee. Slowly, Jay started to be like, oh, do you want to just drink the coffee inside the car? And I was like, yeah. I didn't think anything bad, you know? So we started drinking the coffee inside the car. Nothing happened. Until one day, Jay went in for the kiss, and I kissed him back. I know, guys, I am a terrible person. I really am. But at the end of the day, we're all humans. We've all been there, haven't we? The first time that we did it, it was amazing. And honestly, I had no regrets. No regrets. As a matter of fact, I got addicted to him, and I just wanted more, and more. It was so good that Jay and I stopped working out. Now, the gym was just my excuse to see him all the time. And every time I would see him, I would give him the best head of his life. I could tell he enjoyed it, every moment of it. Jay also mentioned that he's never gotten hit this bomb ever in his life. I think he's addicted to it. He wants it every day. I started going to the gym 3 times at the beginning. Now I'm doing 7 days a week because I don't know what else to tell my husband. And the thing is that Jay doesn't even know I'm married. I never told him. He never asked me. I'm starting to be a little bit afraid because Jay is dropping that L word on me, And I don't want him to fall in love with me because I will never leave my husband. I love my husband. This was never supposed to happen. So now I'm like, how do I end it? Even though I really don't want to, because I love doing it with him. But I'm afraid that if he falls in love, he's gonna start to question me. My biggest fear is that my husband is gonna find me in his truck in the back seat sucking some D. That is like my biggest fear, guys. I am afraid for my life at this point. I should have never said yes to going for coffee. Do not ever put yourselves in that position, especially when you're happily married, guys. Happily married, no, say no to coffee dates. Say no to giving out your number. It is a bad idea. Look at me. I am stressed. But I don't know how to end it. I do not know how to end it with Jay. I'm thinking today might be the day that I tell him the truth, that I am married. But first, I'm gonna get me that good D. Thanks for watching this anonymous story time. Bye, guys.
Get ready with me, or to be more accurate, get ready for the tea. I think I pulled out. I think I remember the most... My door opened. I think I just remembered the most traumatic story that I could ever remember. And I think this headband really irritates me sometimes. I think this is gonna interest the girls I've been cheated on the most, because that is what it's about. So this story is like 2 years old. I'm now with a new boyfriend who treats me like a flipping princess. We are doing our makeup today, by the way. I did not have time to buy new primer. It's horrifying me as well, but trust me, I did my skincare. My skin should be fine. I also scratched myself whilst doing my upper lip this morning. My holiday is like in 2 days. In 2 days. And I've got a scratch. Lovely, Bella. Lovely. Scavenger hunting for my foundation brush. Me and this guy, we'll call him Harry, because I've never dated a Harry, thank God. My foundation just ran out. Need to open it. Me and Harry were dating for, I don't know, a year and a half. I don't know specifically anymore, but we were dating for that long. He was the type of person to go out partying. I wasn't allowed, blah blah blah, but I trusted him because we were dating for literally almost 2 years, because of course I'm going to trust him. And then a random Monday, for starters, in the morning, we were talking completely fine. We were not arguing, like nothing was in the way. By the way, we had Valentine's Day like a week before. All of a sudden at lunchtime I get a message saying, Izzy, I'm really sorry, but we have to talk about a situation on Wednesday, because on Wednesdays he would come and visit me at lunch. I was only seeing him once a week because I was 16 at the time, and my parents are like, you know, they care for me, they protect me, so, and they didn't want me to be focused on a relationship, they want me to focus on education. And me being me, I could tell from his voice that it was a bad thing. Me being me, I demand him to tell me on the phone. And oh boy, was that a bad idea. I had a lesson next and I skipped it because I was bawling my eyes out. I call him, this boy stays down the phone, like, I'm gonna wait until Wednesday, this is not something to say over the phone, like, it's just really serious, I don't want to talk about this on the phone. I was like, no, you're gonna tell me now because you know how I am. You know that I will be thinking till Wednesday, by the way, that's in 2 days, I will be thinking about this. I will be down as hell. Just tell me here and then. And he goes, we need to break up. I was bawling my eyes out because this was the only serious relationship, like my first ever serious relationship that I ever had in my entire life. So I was bawling my eyes out. I was asking why and all this, and I don't know why, but I had a gut feeling. Since he went to parties and all that, and it was those bad parties, like it was those parties where people would make out, do substances, those sort of things, I had a sketchy feeling. All of a sudden was like, you cheated on me, didn't you? And he goes, no, I swear down I didn't, it's just because of distance. He goes, no, it's just distance. I saw him twice a week. I risked my life to see him once more. He proceeds to say it's distance, and I was there like, you cheated on me, I'm going to find out. I'm not going after the truth, but the truth will come to me. And oh boy, did it go after me. I told him to block me. I told him to never talk to me. I told him to never look at me if he saw me in town. I see him constantly because he works at a restaurant, that takeaway restaurant that I love, deeply love, and I can't go because he works there. So yeah, a week later, by the way, all my friends knew what happened. He went to a party without telling me. That's the icebreaker. He went to a party without telling me. So I was like, okay, he definitely went to a party because he used to go nearly every weekend. And all of my friends, literally all of my friends, to which now they aren't my friends anymore, they would not tell me. So I left it. And then my friend, who I'm still friends with and I'm going to university with, she convinced her boyfriend to tell me. And what do I find out? My ex was making out with a girl at that party whilst people was looking and taking pictures, and the girl had the audacity to take a picture with him, and then when I confronted her, she sent me the picture to make me feel bad and insecure. That is not the icebreaker, must I say. He is now dating somebody who, by the way, he started dating somebody literally a month after we broke up. That girl was in fact at that party and they had hooked up plenty of times. I was asking for... Wait, I just forgot what I said. Right, he said that this one time when he was in college, this girl asked him for a Snapchat and he said, no, I'm not going to give you a Snapchat, I'm taken, like, and apparently she saw his background screen, even though the last time he saw me, my photo wasn't on his background lock screen, which should have been a red flag to start with. And that's how I found out that my boyfriend at the time is a cheater. It's just fantastic. 2 years, almost 2 years of a relationship down the sewers. Drain down the sink. Also, there's so many things that this man did that should have been a red flag to begin with. Apparently, he was also planning to break up with me for 3 months. But that's the story time about my cheating, lying ex. Let me know if you want any more story times, because I've got so many up my sleeve, like, they are the biscuit to the tea. Anyway, bye!
Get ready with me while I tell you how I found out that my ex was cheating on me. So to give you some context, this was my first love back in high school. Or for those who don't know, I actually grew up back in Europe. Once you're done with high school, you can either start your bachelor right away, so go to university, or some people actually do a gap year and they leave for a year to another country. We decided to get together
the summer after high school, basically after our last year of school. Together in July, and he was leaving for Italy for his gap year in September. So you know, bad vibes. We just got together, and he's gonna go a full year to another country with other girls, and you know, we're not that stable to have this type of challenge. Basically just focused on school. I was a hardcore, like I never went out. I was just studying, trying to think about something else, and we were still calling each other. I remember it was on Skype back then, and it was working. But there was this one girl I had a bad feeling about. She was French and in the same program over there, and she was really clingy and always posting him on her Facebook. At the time it was Facebook, on her Facebook, and they were joking a bit too much. I told him about her, and I was like, well, I don't really like her vibe. I feel like she's too much on you. Like, is there something you can tell me? Like, just let me know, you know? And he was like, oh no, you know, she's really cool. You should meet her. She's super chill. Like, we're just friends. I decided to visit him, right? I was like, okay, I need to see what's going on. I need to see like what you're doing in Italy. Show me everything. I need to meet this girl. In my head, I was like, oh yeah, that's my. Introduce me to her. He's like, the worst thing, like my pride. I was so prideful back then. And you know what he said when he introduced me to her? He was like, you see, she's nice, huh? Bitch, what? She's pretty cool. She's like super nice to me. She's like super welcoming. You didn't give me any hint that I should be worried about her because she met me. So why would she even try to do something with him? She met me. You know, like, we're cool. We're girls over here. Not so much. But the thing that was weird is that we plan on doing an activity like for a full day, like visiting the lakes or whatever, and he wanted to invite her when I haven't seen him in 6 months. Why do you want to invite her, like, while we just having time together? I was just there for 3 days. Go back home, and you know, 6 other months go by. He comes back to my hometown. So I keep having the same dream. I keep having this dream, me finding a picture on my computer or his computer, like with them together, and I keep dreaming about her. So we're in the south of France. We're there for summer. We're at his grandparents' vacation. They have a house over there, and they're there. They're staying with us. By the way, his grandpa is the rudest person I've ever met. But that's for another video. He goes to go for a run. And I'm like, you know what? This is my chance. He left his phone inside the room. Let me have a look. There was like some storm preparing. You know, something was going to happen. You could tell it was electric. Decide to check his phone, right? I'm like, okay, this is my chance, like whatever. I'm sure I'm not gonna find anything, you know, crazy, but might as well, just to have a peace of mind about this girl that I keep thinking about a year later. Go through his conversation with her on Facebook Messenger, and girl, I wasn't disappointed. Basically saying, oh yeah, I want you so bad. You know, if I was single, I would F her, F you. And like, I want you so bad. That one time we had a sleepover, I almost like, you know, I almost folded and stuff. And I'm like, huh? Then you know what I decide to do? I'm like, I need to figure out more. I go to his group chat with his homies, and that was, oh, girl, I'm still traumatized. And it's been like, what, 6 years? Homeboy, he keeps sending pictures of her and be like, oh, she's so bad, like I want her so bad. And you know what his homeboy said? Oh, you're not cheating on Salome with her? Like, just for Salome? Boy. Basically meaning, Salome is not as bad, you know, like, just cheat on her, like, it's gonna be worth it. And keep in mind, his friends were my friends too. We were all in high school together. Like, I see that and I'm fuming. And what was a bad sign is that throughout our whole relationship, everyone was mean to him, basically saying that I was out of his league, and he got mad every time. And I really think that men cheat when they feel insecure, or they feel like maybe their partner is like above them. And yeah, that was really interesting to me, that he was the one cheating when he was always scared that I was cheating and always toxic and jealous of everything that I was doing. It didn't make sense. Oh, and he also kissed his ex while we were together. So, and two of my friends knew about it and didn't tell me. Two of my girlfriends, because they wanted to stay close to the guy instead of, protecting my own feelings. The girl. You better bet that I cut them off after that. If you want more, go to part 2.
I found out my fiance was cheating on me on our wedding day. Yeah, no, not a week before, not months before, like hours before I was supposed to walk down the aisle. And if you thought I was going to be the kind of girl that was going to hide in the corner and cry about it, just cancel the wedding, no, could not be me. I was going to make sure this man paid. So, let me tell you how I got my revenge. I wake up the morning of my wedding surprisingly calm, no cold feet, no crazy wedding jitters, until I check my phone. And that's when I see I have a DM on Instagram from an account that I don't follow. And at this point, I think my biggest concern of the day is whether my curls are gonna hold during the ceremony. But when I open this message, I realize my concerns are a lot bigger than that. The message from this random girl reads, "Hey, so sorry, didn't realize he was engaged, but thought you would want to know what your fiance did during his bachelor party." And there they are. There are literally almost 50 photos of my fiance and this girl kissing, looking like a couple, for tons of screenshots of text between them, laying out exactly what happened during his bachelor party, that they were spending that entire weekend together. I mean, the proof was irrefutable. He clearly cheated on me. And I'm not dumb. If he cheated on me like that on his bachelor party, he's definitely cheated before. I just haven't caught him. So I've realized that I didn't even know who I was marrying. I was marrying a total stranger. And this girl definitely lied when she said that she didn't know he was engaged, because one of the text messages said, "There's no way that she's gonna find out, and this is my last taste of freedom." So yeah, she definitely knew he had a fiance and was about to get married. Why even lie? But whatever. My issue was with him, not with her, and I'm just glad that she told me before it was too late and I married the man. So I immediately go and show my best friend / maid of honor all of these messages, and she's shocked. She's angry and upset, and she's like, "Okay, what are we gonna do? What is the plan? Are we running right now?" And I said, "Absolutely not. Give me my dress. It's time for me to put it on." And she is so confused because she assumed that I was gonna cancel the wedding, but no, that is not what I was gonna do. I sat her down and told her the plan that I had to get revenge on this man. And she was so in. I love her. So it's time for the ceremony. It's time for me to get married. And the ceremony space looks absolutely beautiful. Better than I could have ever imagined. It was my dream wedding, except obviously not my dream man. He is up there looking like he just stepped out of a magazine ad. I start walking down the aisle and he is crying. I'm like, okay, you little faker. I don't believe any emotion you've ever expressed to me in our lives. During my fiance's vows, I am trying so hard to keep it together. If I wouldn't have known he cheated, I would have been in tears. They were beautiful, but knowing what he did, it was just comical. He was talking about how much he loved me, how he would always protect my heart. He would always support me. We were a team. He would always be loyal to me. Okay, really? How is he standing there with a straight face saying this to me? But I keep it together. I just have a little soft smile on my face, like, the whole time. And I feel like he might have been a little confused why I wasn't crying, because I am a crier, but, he wasn't too suspicious at this point. But then it was time for me to give my vows, and that's where the real fun started. I started off my vows by saying, "Babe, standing in front of you right now, about to say I do to become your wife, there aren't a lot of words to express what I'm feeling. So I thought it would be best if I showed you." And right then, from behind us, a screen lowered and the projector turned on to play a presentation that my maid of honor and I created while we were getting ready. Yeah, I think you know where this is going. I continued by saying, "The reason I don't know what to say to you is because I don't know you. You're a stranger to me. I thought you were the love of my life, my soulmate, but really, you're just a pathological liar who almost forced me into a marriage while deceiving me. Who knows how many times you've cheated on me?" And as I'm saying all of this, the photos and text messages that girl sent me were playing in the background. This man looked like he was going to projectile vomit everywhere. His family is all sobbing. My family is just shook. I told him I could choose to stand here and be devastated, but instead, I am so lucky I found out before it was too late, and I had a son with you and had to do everything in my power to make him turn out not just like you. I then turned to all the guests and say, "And we're still going to celebrate that because the food's already paid for, the open bar is paid for, so let's go celebrate." Turned to my fiance and said, "Yeah, not you, you're going to go and never speak to me again, but
The rest of us, we're gonna have a day. And I walked right down that aisle with all my bridesmaids following me. The guests were a little confused at first, but yeah, they ended up kind of following as well. And we all went to the reception, and I just pushed everything to the back, just pretended like everything was fine, because you know what? I didn't end up with that man. And I could have ended up marrying that man. Horrible. The next thing to decide is who I'm gonna go on the honeymoon with, and I'm kind of thinking his best friend. He's always had a thing for me. I found out my boyfriend was cheating on me, and this is how I got my revenge. I never saw myself as a vengeful person, but apparently I am. And I don't regret a single thing. I'd been dating my boyfriend for years, so I thought I was gonna marry the man, and I trusted him more than anyone. So when he started getting weird about his phone, I didn't think anything of it. Call me naive, but my birthday was coming up, and I just thought he was trying to surprise me. I was wrong. And I was completely oblivious to the fact that I was dating a narcissistic, pathological liar. Till one day, he goes to go to the bathroom, leaves his phone dings, I look down, and he has a text message from system notifications. Okay, can you try a little harder? At least make her contact a guy's first and last name. Don't make it that you're getting a text message from system notifications. How stupid do you think I am? And obviously, we've been dating for years. I have his passcode. I open that thing right up. Yep. Over a year, that man has been texting this girl, fully having an affair. Like, it was a full-blown relationship. They were basically dating, saying I love you. Something about me is that I'm a very emotional person. I'm a soft girly, and normally I cry at everything. But in that moment, I saw those texts and I just ran cold. I felt so numb. It's like every single emotion I had towards him went away. I didn't want to cry or yell at him or ask him why. I just wanted revenge, and I got it. Do not ask me how I did it, but he came back from the bathroom and I acted like absolutely nothing was wrong. I told him I was just tired and wanted to go to sleep, but I didn't sleep at all that night. I planned my revenge. You see, the reason that my boyfriend probably cheated on me in the first place is because he's a very insecure man, and most of that stems from his relationship with his older brother. There's really no other way to put it other than my boyfriend's older brother doesn't have any flaws. He was the captain of every single sport growing up, insanely attractive, models. He's a genius, doesn't even have to study to get straight A's, highest marks in the class, and is just the kindest, funniest person of all time. There is nothing wrong with this man. And his older brother tried so hard to have a good relationship with him, but he was just always so resentful that his brother was good at everything, got everything he wanted, that he was terrible to him. He is so mean to his older brother. The way he talks to him, the way he treats him, it's horrific, really. His older brother was never anything but kind to him. Last Thanksgiving, they got into a fight over who was gonna pick the movie to watch that night, and my boyfriend ended up punching his older brother in the face, and yeah, they haven't spoken since. And I know the only person in the world that can get under my boyfriend's skin is his older brother. And luckily, his older brother has a little bit of a soft spot for me. So the morning after I see the incriminating text messages, I call my boyfriend's older brother, who's very surprised to hear from me because, again, my boyfriend and his older brother haven't been talking, so I haven't talked to him either. And he was like, "What's wrong? Is everything okay?" And I was like, "Not really. It's actually not really okay at all." And I tell him exactly what happened. I told his older brother I fully expected him to just hang up on me and call my boyfriend and be like, "Hey, your girlfriend knows you're cheating and she's wanting to get revenge using me, so work that one out." And maybe I was kind of wanting him to tell me that it was a bad idea and kind of put me in my place, get me back in line, but he didn't. Instead, his brother says, "You know what? This is really out of character for us, but this man deserves it. Let's get revenge." And we spent 2 hours on the phone coming up with the perfect plan. If you thought this was a simple one-step plan, you're very wrong. This plan took span over the course of a full month. Yeah, we were committed. Step 1. I started accidentally calling my boyfriend by his older brother's name randomly in conversation. I'd be like, "Oh, can you pass me the water?" Brother's name. And oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. That's so weird. I don't know why I'm calling you that. I would only do it like once every other day. And at first he was a little annoyed, but it started to drive him crazy. He was like, "Why are you calling me my brother's name? Like, what is going on?" I was like, "I don't know. So weird. I guess maybe I started doing it like once and now I just can't stop. My bad." Step 2, my boyfriend's older brother gave me a ton of his old t-shirts that had sports teams he likes or bands that he listens to, and I started wearing them around the house. And my boyfriend would be like, wait, is that my brother's shirt? And I'd be like, what are you talking about? I've had this shirt forever. Have you never seen me wear it before? Why are you being weird? I would be wearing a t-shirt of such a niche band that literally no one has heard of, that I hadn't even heard of, and my boyfriend would be like, no, that is definitely my brother's shirt. And I'd be like, why are you acting like this? I like this band. Do you not even know what music I listen to? Step 3, I would find every occasion to bring his brother up in conversation. I'd be like, oh, wait, do you see this show is on? Do you remember when like the three of us all watched that together? That was so fun. I miss your brother. You should really call him. I feel like we should all hang out. I miss him. After about 3.5 weeks of this, my boyfriend was going absolutely insane because there was no concrete evidence that anything was going on. But I mean, I was planting seeds. This is when I really started to turn up the heat on this plan. I went over to his brother's apartment and I butt dialed my boyfriend. My boyfriend picks up, he's like, Kels, hello. And me and his brother are pretending like we don't know that we accidentally called him, and we're laughing. I'm saying his name, so he knows who I'm with. I'm making it very clear, and I can just hear my boyfriend on the phone just being like, Kels, what's going on? What's going on? My boyfriend hangs up because we're not responding, and I already know he's gonna be on the way to his brother's house. So his brother and I get in our separate cars and we drive to the grocery store. And finally, when I assume my boyfriend will almost be to his brother's house, I finally call him. I'm like, oh, hey babe, I didn't see you were calling me. I was grocery shopping. You wanna know who I just ran into? Your brother. Isn't that so random? I haven't seen him in so long. He's at the grocery store right now. I was making this man feel crazy. I really was. But it was time to put our final plan in action. My boyfriend's older brother calls him and says that he really wants to talk to him and asks him to come over to his apartment so that they can make up. My boyfriend goes over, walks in the kitchen, and right there on the counter is my jacket. The thing is bright pink. You can't miss it. It's clearly mine. I sprayed it with so much of my perfume so that my boyfriend would know for 100% sure that the jacket in his brother's kitchen was mine, meaning I was in his kitchen. And there was absolutely no way I was gonna miss the show, so I hid in the pantry. And let me tell you, it did not disappoint. My boyfriend was freaking out. He was like, what's going on between you and Kels? Just like absolutely lashing out. And his brother's like, oh, the jacket? Yeah, when we were shopping, she got hot, so she put it in my cart and just forgot to grab it on her way out. So I was gonna give it to you to bring back to her, so I brought it out here. Again, just actually making him feel crazy. So after all the drama goes down and my boyfriend angrily storms out of his brother's house, I come out of the pantry and start to debrief with his brother. And I was like, you know what? I kind of get why my boyfriend is so resentful to you, because you've had everything you've ever wanted. And that's when his brother looks at me and says, that's no excuse. I was never resentful towards him, and he's had something I've always wanted. And just stares at me. And we just stare at each other for like, I feel like it felt like a solid 30 seconds, just not saying anything until I was like, okay, well, I gotta go. Hope you have a good rest of your night. My head was absolutely spinning because this man is actually perfect, but he had always been my boyfriend's older brother. But now, even though he's still technically my boyfriend, or he thinks he's my boyfriend, he's not my boyfriend anymore. The minute that man cheated on me, we were donezo. But I didn't have time to think about this perfect man. I had to go implement the final part of my plan. I get home and my boyfriend is still reeling. He's like, what's going on between you and my brother? Are you cheating? Like, what's going on? I said, you know, usually when someone is this convinced that their partner's cheating on them with no real basis, it's because they're feeling guilty about something. Do you have anything to feel guilty about? And like a flip of a switch, my boyfriend starts sobbing and admits to the entire affair. Little does he know that I actually knew the entire time. So the best part about the plan is that when he told me, I had no reaction and acted like I didn't care. And I just said, okay, well, I wish you the best then. I'm gonna pack up my stuff and, you know, have a good rest of your life. Just like that, like he meant nothing to me. He couldn't believe it. He was like, you're not mad? You're not gonna yell at me? You're not gonna cry? Nothing? It's like, no. I don't really feel like that's necessary. Again, wish you the best. I walked out of that house, and even though he's tried calling and texting me, haven't spoken to him since. Also, haven't spoken to his brother since, who also has been trying to call me. So that's a little messy. If I'm not careful, I'm gonna end up at family Thanksgiving again this year, just with a different brother. If they were fighting over who was gonna pick a movie, can't imagine how this fight would go.